having the coronavirus, COVID-19. I have my coffin in the background. I'm kidding, it's a guitar case. And I'm hoping I'm coming out of it this time. It's been a lot of cycles.
I'm in day 11 and I feel better.
But I thought this would be a good time to walk through what my experience of this disease has been from day 1 to day 18. What's been helping me to stay healthy physically, and then what's been helping me to stay positive emotionally. And you can stop at whatever point in the video this stops being useful to you. What is it like? How do you deal with it? And how do you deal with it? Because it's long. It's long. So, here we go. Day 0. I made out with a sick person. It was awesome. I have no regrets. The next morning, I woke up with an acute sore throat. And I was like, well, that makes sense. I accept my fate. So this was an interesting sore throat. It was rough enough swallowing that I thought it might be strep, but it was also tight, and that was notable. There was a firmness to it. So that was day 1. Through 5, more of the same. Sore throat, I'm gargling with soy sauce water, which I think is a tasty upgrade from regular salt water. Highly recommend it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat this sore throat. Then came day 6, and that's when the fever kicked in. Symptoms, starting day 5 and 6, the virus moved from being in my throat to being a heady and moving into my respiratory system. Shortness of breath, and I had a fever. So that was the trinity for a while. I was taking NyQuil to beat the stuffiness. Respiratory stuff was just keeping me from doing any exercise. I tried to do some push-ups around day 8 and lying down face on the floor and said, okay, this is not a time to exercise. After those first days, let's say day 5 to 10, then it moved into the classic COVID dry cough. A little bit of mucus came up the first few days, but then the sinus stuff kind of went away, and the cough is what's been hanging in. The cough and the low rolling fever chill on and off, like just a tickle. It's like two little feathers wiggle, wiggle, wiggle in my throat all the time. So if you make me laugh, I cough. Walking up a hill, I cough, and I have to stay warm and fight this chill. It has been rolling on and off, which is kind of like having a demon inside of you. It's like demon possession movies where the person is possessed. What's happening, Georgie? And then all of a sudden they come back and they're like, oh, the demon has left. And then it's back again.
Georgina isn't here anymore.
And that's kind of what this fever is like. Last Sunday, day 11, the fever went away. I had a jacket in my bag, but I didn't even feel like I needed it. I'm moving, I'm feeling okay. It's a little hard to breathe, I've still got the cough, but the fever seems to be going away. Maybe I'm on the mend. Next 2 days, whomp. Didn't leave my bedroom except to eat and drink and do other bodily things, which means go to the bathroom. So exercising was a mistake, and this fever sneaks back in on you. So that's the main trajectory. Days 1 through 5, sore throat. If I hadn't sucked the disease out of somebody's mouth, it probably would have taken longer to gestate. Days 5, 6, it moved into my sinuses and into my lungs. And then from days 10 on, it was a rolling fever and persistent respiratory issues. So that's part 1. That's experience of how this thing has rolled through. Now let's talk about what has helped me. Number 1, not exercise. Give your body time. Let your immune system gather the troops. This thing burns calories and it uses up water. So warm liquids in your throat, flushing out some of the virus and getting it down into the stomach, and lots of food. Peanut butter, curries, packing the calories in, lots of fresh vegetables. If you're on a diet, you're gonna turn into a skeleton. Your immune system needs fuel, so give it the fuel and then sit down and rest. There's a virus inside of me taking over cells and destroying them, and I've got a counterinsurgency that's coming back and it's saying, you don't belong here, I'm gonna trap you, I'm gonna squish you up, I'm gonna get you out. Trap you, squish you up, get you out. That's a very energy intensive process. It's taxing for the body. Job number one, love yourself so that yourself can heal. I've been hydrating like a fish. You're made out of water, keep water in the body. I've been eating lots of curries. Spices generally have antibacterial, antimicrobial properties. That's why we use them. It preserves things, keeps them from spoiling, trying to keep myself from spoiling. A number one priority right now is don't die of the flu. The two exceptions to the just eat stuff, drink stuff, and rest, I found deep breathing exercises really helped. Because I feel like I'm not getting oxygenated, and so focusing time on getting oxygen into my body was helping. I made the mistake this morning of getting up and going and doing regular exercise. I work out for 15 minutes. I'm taxing my already taxed body, and it just says, I can't breathe. My muscles are shaking. What are you doing to me? Flop. So then I was on the ground thinking, well, that's not the right way to stimulate my immune system. What is? Breathing. You've got sickness all in the things. So we're gonna feed our body oxygen. When I'm sick, my breathing tends to be shallow. Everything is slumped and Eeyore. Body's concaved. Lungs are not filling up fully. You're just trying to not move. And so opening my lungs up actively has really been a helpful restorative practice. Expand, tighten. It's gonna tickle the cough reflex. That's okay. Don't want to get lightheaded. That's stressful. But you do want to get those bellows going again. Wim Hof, the Iceman, has a good technique for this. Allow me to demonstrate.
Belly, chest, hat. That's the way it goes. Like this. Let it go. Fully in. Not fully out, but fully in. Once again.
Get them squeezing. A lymph massage also really helps. You think of the image of your lymph nodes as a mountain stream that's pouring down toward the center of your neck, and just help it get there. Just start with these little tributaries. Oh, and then open up the eyes, bring it down through the jaw, and then down the neck, back of the neck, front of the neck, and get that stuff right down here and let that lymph work its way through the system. You don't have a little lymph heart inside of you next to your big red blood heart. So the way that lymph moves through the body is actually by muscular contractions and physical stimulation. So you can start draining your lymph by just thinking about this is a mountain path, open, drop it, drop it, drop it, work everything down to right here, and from there we'll get to the body. But first just massage your lymph. We've got them in the nose right here. You can squish the nose this way, squish it this way. Oh, get under those cheekbones, and you can get into the jaw. And then you can come with Spock fingers and come down the sides like this. And all of this is just filtering down into the neck. I'm sure you felt these guys get swollen before. Rub them out. It feels so good. All the way down, out of your neck. Get it into this little divot here. And then let it move through your body. The other thing that was helping, light stretching, but more so what really felt good was percussive body stimulation. So, yes, I'm a dog in a human body, but move the lungs, impact. On days when I was feeling good, if you want exercise, that's what I would recommend. Go out in the yard, take a nice big squat position, and beat yourself. Beat yourself to treat yourself. Let's not make that a bumper sticker. I learned it in jiu-jitsu, and it is something that was really beneficial back then. And I started doing it, and I swear it feels so good. So, we're gonna start with the core, cup your hands, and start at the neck.
You feel it reverberate through your muscles. If you just pat, that's good. If you're hitting to the point where you're tensing up, where you're like, oh, I'm tensing, that's too hard. Keep it loose, keep it relaxed. We're not taxing the body, we're waking it up. And here's the basic map I'd use. Start with the shoulders. Get down into the deltoids, hit the chest meat. If it helps, think about being a silverback gorilla. Make your voice sound funny, it's fine. No one is judging you. And if they do, you're too sick to care. Wrap around the body. Keep going down to the stomach. Get in the lats. It just echoes up through the back. Start at the upper back. Oh, that feels so nice. Work our way down. Ooh, we go lower. And that drops us into these meaty spots right here. This feels great. Dogs love this. Ooh, hip flexors feel good too. That's most of the center meat. Now get the extremities. Open hands for this, not cupped. Just slap those arms. Keep your fingers nice and loose, like whips. Slap it around. Look at this meat in there. Jiggle it. Punch it. It feels so good. Seriously, I did this for 30 minutes to myself already. I just can't get enough. And now, whoa, legs. And come to the inside. Don't hit this area. Then, tops of the hands. Try and keep as relaxed as possible when you do this. We're going for resonance. Echoes shaking through the body, waking all the commoners up in the village below. Your phagocytes, your white blood cells, the things that are eating viruses, waking them up and telling them it's time for business. Time for everybody to get busy. Oh, and then if you're standing, bringing your foot off the ground so that your calf can relax and you can get this shaken up. Oh. Okay. So, to review, warm liquids, calories, fresh vegetables to give my immune system fuel, rested and let it saturate and move around. And then on days when I was feeling good enough, stretch a little bit, self-massage, self-impact, and breathe. Breathing was not just getting my body oxygenated, it was also about calming myself down and getting myself in the right headspace. And so that's number 3. Social isolation is hard. It's honestly easier when you're sick because you don't want to do anything but just be by yourself and breathe. But now that I've started coming out of it, I've started missing people, and it's tempting to feel alone. But the truth is, if anything, a global pandemic is an experience that brings everybody together. Ooh, except, one moment. Hello.
Hello, friend. How are you doing in the pandemic?
I'm doing well. How are you doing in the pandemic?
I'm surviving.
Wait, you said you were surviving and then you stopped, which makes me think that that I caught you just as you're dying in the pandemic.
Correct. The pandemic itself is not as frightening as dealing with the human beings in my life. When I have to be with them nonstop, it's awful. Well, don't be sick. We don't like it. Just get better.
Calling, texting, video chatting. I joined a meeting. I'm having a video potluck this Sunday. The world abounds with opportunities for social connection.
You can just take a screenshot, you dumbass.
So why did you do this?
We're in lockdown now. I'm not gonna see a hairdresser for at least 2 or 3 months. I was like, why not?
Well, you look great in my book.
How you doing, man?
And all of a sudden the things that used to be priorities, like what time is it? When's my yoga class? All of those priorities shift down. And what floats up to the top is, how are the people I love? How is my community? How is this world doing?
That's why the Gonzaleses are collecting non-perishable food items, handing them out.
We're just trying to do as much as possible for as long as possible.
We're trying to help out.
Doctors and nurses were happy to talk to me and reassure me and give me information.
Every bag, we stand strong together.
We stick close together and we're able to help each other.
Friends bring me food, and I'm definitely going to do the same once I'm healthy because it feels good to love on people and to care for them.
Loneliness is different from social isolation. You can have somebody who is not surrounded by a lot of people and prefers to be that way and still not feel lonely. You see me as who I am, without the facade, without the makeup, without the hair, and will you be there for me? And empathy is to understand, to love, to accept, but then to assist and to aid as well. Yeah.
I see old people and I stay the away from them, and I'm so happy that they're alive. I see little kids playing out in the street, and I'm so blown away by their joy and imagination and ability to keep themselves entertained through a really trying time. I have really enjoyed the silent practice of appreciating other people existing. I share this world with brave doctors and grocery people who are out on the front lines keeping us fed and keeping us cared for. Really conscientious people who are passing along information.
So if you are suddenly going to be teaching world languages online, what might your students have questions about right away?
Fearful people who are hoarding toilet paper for some reason.
Yes.
To know that even they are going through something makes you feel not alone.
Totally. Bridging that loneliness gap.
A pandemic gives us an opportunity to support each other, and I've seen that happen in such beautiful ways.
All the love.
And it's an interesting ride. I won't say this pandemic is a good thing, but it's kind of beautiful. And as somebody whose primary love language is touch, I am getting to exercise all the other ways that love comes into my life and that love comes out of me toward other people. Gifts like food, words of affirmation and support, quality time, acts of service. It's a good time to love on people. So take the opportunity. Take care of yourselves. 6 feet be with you. See you on the flip side. Oh, also, hygiene. After brushing my teeth, I would always pour hydrogen peroxide on it, making sure that I'm not reinfecting myself. I figured I got this disease from sticking my mouth in somebody's sick mouth, so I don't want to stick my own sick mouth back in my mouth. Keeping my hands clean, because I live with people. Soap is a super simple technology for breaking down the oily outer shells and the internal protein chains of bacteria and viruses. Soap and warm water. It's a very quick way to decimate their populations. Just try not to get my people sick.